Hi, Lisette. Thank you for making it today. My name is Daniel, and thank you for being here. And tell me, how's your day going so far?
Hi Daniel, my day is going all right. It's been a long day. I've been pretty busy with work and kids and just trying to make it to the appointment, but it's going pretty good.
Well, I'm glad you're able to make it. Sounds like there's a lot going on today. So I'm glad
It
that.
has been just a
Well,
lot happening at home, a lot happening in general, but yeah, I'm just happy that I made it today.
yeah, me too. And Lisette, before we go into your first counseling today or first therapy session today, I'd like to disclose some rules, or not necessarily rules, but I want to let you know that it's a safe place where you can share your feelings, your thoughts, what's in your heart or what's in your mind, what's going on. Okay. But also just to let you know, there are two exceptions, right? When it comes to reporting, right? If there is fear that you might have some suicidal thoughts, hurting yourself, hurting others, I do have to report that to make sure to get you the help that you need, right? And also, if report about any type of abuse to any minors or any vulnerable adults. And once again, it's not to get anyone in trouble, it's to get them the help that they need. Okay. And are you okay to move forward with today's session?
Yes, yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay, so you mentioned that you're feeling a little, stressed out. That's what I think. That's what I heard you say, right? With life, with everything. So can you tell me more about your typical day for what does a typical day for you look like?
Well, I normally start the day by getting ready, getting my kids ready to go to school, and making sure that everybody has either their lunch, or everybody has good just clothes on and everything. So I just normally just help my kids to get ready and then take them to school, and then I'm off to work. And usually I'm just working and doing everything that I need to do. Then I get off work and I go pick up my kids and come home, and then we have to eat. So I make dinner. I make sure that everybody eats, and then we're off to some activities, extracurricular activities that my kids have. Sometimes it's soccer, sometimes it's dance, other times it's martial arts. It just depends what they have that day. So that's usually my day.
That sounds like a busy day, but also
Yes.
a productive day. Sounds like, right? Driving the kids around, and but so what brings you in today? He said.
Well, I've just been struggling with uh, just remembering some things from the past, and just some things that I don't think I ever talked to anyone about. And so they're just coming back, and these thoughts are just disturbing. Sometimes they distract me from doing my work, or they take away from my time with my kids, because I'm flooded with emotions. And yeah, so I don't know, I'm just feeling overwhelmed.
Oh, thank you for sharing that with me. Yeah, it sounds like you're going through a lot and trying to do everything. I mean, on your own for what you're telling me, going to work, picking up the kids, and driving them everywhere, right? And I guess let me ask you one quick question. How would you like things to be different?
Hmm. Well, I feel like right now everything at home is going well. My husband also helps. I mean, I'm not the only one that's driving my kids around. He's helping. It's just feeling overwhelmed about thoughts and feelings that I've been having of things that happened in the past.
Okay. And would you mind sharing more with me about those thoughts that are from the past?
Yeah, when I was growing up, I felt like my parents were really strict on me, and I felt like I didn't have any voice, and that was just rough. And feeling like my parents were not listening to me, or they were not there for me. It was just following the rules regardless of what I was feeling. So that's just thinking about my kids and thinking about what happened with me. That's been rough.
Well, it sounds like you're struggling when it comes to your own childhood, comparing it to your kids' childhood. And I mean, I can tell you're a very resourceful person. And you're able to accomplish so many things throughout the day, and then still make time to come in and um, uh, take care of yourself, right? And but it sounds like you're struggling with those thoughts from the past and comparing them to your present life, right? You mentioned about your parents, serving with your parents, and can you expand a little bit more on that? And how do you think it's affecting you nowadays?
Yeah, I think the hardest thing for me is trying to decide if I'm doing like the same thing my parents are doing. And sometimes I run into conflict with my husband because he thinks I'm being too lenient with the kids. And I'm thinking, like, I don't want to be like my parents. And my husband says, well, no, but we still have to have rules. And then I want to have rules, but then I feel like I'm doing what my parents did. So it's just that conflict of I don't want to be like my parents, and trying to make sure that I'm not being too flexible with my kids. So that's my conflict. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to come up with a good way to teach my children, to parent them, and be on the same page with my husband. Sometimes I think he's being too strict. Other times I feel like he's not. And so it's just hard for me.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I mean, um, so you mentioned about being lenient and being too strict, right? When you talked about your parents, and then now in the present moment, how would you define being too strict and being too lenient? I should add.
Yeah, I think that being that's a good question. See, that's the part I'm having a hard time with. I don't know if being too strict means like doing what my parents did. I couldn't go out with friends. I couldn't talk to anyone. I was just supposed to go to school. I could have friends there, but I was supposed to go home. So I don't know if that's too strict. I thought it was too strict. Um, so I'm thinking that's very strict. Being lenient for me would be that I let my kids do whatever they want, that they don't even have to come home. They can just be with their friends outside all day long. I think that's being too lenient for me.
Okay, no, thank you for sharing that. It seems like you're struggling to find the balance there. And that's what I think I'm hearing from you. And that's your perspective, right? And what about your husband's perspective when it comes to being lenient and too strict? What do you feel his takes? What's his take on being lenient or too strict?
I well, that's a good question. I'm thinking that I don't think that we have something defined. I honestly don't think that we have like this is what we want to do. And I think that's the main problem, that we don't have something specific. Sometimes we say no, nobody's going to eat sugars until the weekend. And other times we say, okay, eat sugars throughout the week and it doesn't matter because it's so busy. We let them do whatever they want and they can eat all the sugar they want. And then the next week we're like, okay, no sugars until the end of the week. So I don't think we have a specific, strict or lenient yet defined. I think that's why, I'm just having some issues with thinking about the past and thinking about what I'm doing. And my husband just tells me, okay, forget about what your parents did. You can rewrite, your script, but I have a really hard time rewriting my script. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to forget what happened with my parents.
Okay.
And I feel like that's why I'm here. That's why I want to get some help. That's what would be different for me to rewrite my script and learn to get over the past.
Okay. And how do you think you can accomplish that, Lisa?
I don't know. I think that I feel like I just have to start by letting go and letting go of what happened with my parents. And I have a hard time doing that because I think that I didn't have a fun adolescence. I feel like I was restricted so much that I didn't get to enjoy my adolescence. And I feel that resentment for my parents. And so I just want to learn to let go, but I don't know how to let go.
And have you considered talking to your parents about this and how do you feel about the way you were raised?
Uh,
Do you think it will make a difference? Let me rewrite or rephrase that question. Think it will make a difference, or how it will help you personally? I mean, we can't change the past, right? It's in the past, right? It's not like you can go back in time and be, I don't know, 17 again, right? Like that movie, right? That we all know
mhm.
about, right? But I mean, would it help you? You think to sit down with
That's
them?
something I can, sorry, I feel like that's something I can definitely explore and think about. That's something I haven't done. And yes, I wish I could be 17 again, but I know I can't go back. But maybe that would be something I could start with, just talking to my parents about it. I feel like they're gonna get mad at me though. They might get mad or they might think like, stop, just get over that. Because that's usually how they were. They would just say, get over it. But I know I mean I could always try.
Okay. And when it comes to, I mean, you can always try, like you said, right? And if anything, it will strengthen your communication with your parents, right? And who knows, maybe they have some regrets. We don't know, right? And maybe it would be a good time for them to talk to you about it too. Uh, but so tell me a good memory growing up, something that there must have been a time maybe when you were allowed to do something that you really wanted to do.
Yeah, I can think of a few. Some of them, a good memory would be when I would race my dad. I would race him to the store and we would run and see who would get to the store first. And that was really fun. Or with my mom, I would play grocery shopping and I would get things out of my fridge and go shopping with pretend to go shopping, getting all the food from the fridge. I like that memory.
Okay. Well, I mean, based on those two comments, those two memories, perhaps they were trying, right? And they were doing the best that they could with what they have. And but let me ask you one more question. And what is something that let's pretend your kids, I mean, how old are your kids? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that in the beginning.
Well, my oldest is
Mhm.
16 and 14 and 12.
Okay, so okay, so they get into that age, right? They want to explore, they want to be with friends. What would be a complete no? I mean, for you, they come, hey mom, I want to do this. Well, what kind of activity would be a complete no for you?
Well, I'm thinking that a complete no is I want to go on a trip with my friends all by myself, and that would be no.
Okay, why would you say no to that?
That I feel like I mean, even if it's my 16-year-old, I feel like he's young to just take off by himself and go to on a trip with his friends. I feel like they would need an adult if they want to travel somewhere.
Okay. Right, so mainly I'm hearing you will be concerned about his safety, right? And
Yeah.
okay. And well, maybe perhaps could it be that your parents have the same perspective back then when you asked them to to be part of an activity and they said no? Could it that maybe they were concerned for your safety?
Yeah, I mean, some things, yeah, I'm sure they were concerned for my safety. Other things, I just don't know why they.
Okay.
did what they did. But I think some of them would be my safety for sure.
Okay. Well, like I said, it's been a great time meeting with you. Fortunately, our time is running out, but um, I want to make sure that you leave this place keeping in mind that you're doing your best, right, as a mother, right? There's not a book, there's not a manual that comes along with every child, right? How to raise them, how to talk to them. It's a learning process for all of us. But I think it's great that you're taking into consideration the way you were raised, and that you're being aware, right? That you want to avoid repeating those behaviors that you that were not did not allow you to have the type of experiences you would have loved, right? But at the same time, it's about finding the balance. Okay, and maybe that's something we could work on next therapy session, unless there's something specific, some specific goals that you're gonna work on next session. There's something specifically said that you wanna build on next week.
I think that's a good idea. Just thinking about it, having a good balance. I like that.
Okay, all right. Well, once again, thank you, Lizette, and let's plan on meeting the same day, same time next week. Would that work for you?
Yes, that works.
Okay,
We'll see
right.
you next week.
I'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye bye.